It's recording? Oh, yep. Here we go. So first, let me start by saying, Derek, I am honored, privileged, humbled. I am blessed. I am thankful you considered me worthy enough to participate, to perform with y'all on the song and to do the video and to get on stage with y'all. So I am in rock and roll heaven. I'm just filled with gratitude that you allowed my rock and roll dream to come true.
No one will believe me. No one will believe me that you said any of that, or that I'm even talking to you right now.
That's crazy.
Dude, I the same to you, D. I mean, like, you're such an inspiration. Everything you say is like it makes me wanna. That's why I had to do these like interviews near my piano, just in case.
Oh, just it's so right.
I jump right to it. I got the piano is actually on right now.
That's a good yeah. Because I mean, inspiration is constantly it's a two-way street.
Absolutely. And I was talking to a buddy of mine too. Like he was like, "What are you up to these days?" I'm like, "We're writing the second album and stuff.
Oh, nice.
We're demoing stuff, and yesterday we did a bunch of drum tracks, like, and we're trying to see what works and stuff."
Right,
and he's
right,
like,
right.
"Is that latest collab you did with DMC, like, is that like, did that kind of put you in the right headspace, or is that inspiring you?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. I'm still off that high. I'm like, I want to get, the world collide a little bit more modern. The first record's
Right.
a little bit more straight ahead rock and roll, but then
Yeah.
what we did, I feel like, was something else, a little,
it's like Star Trek. It takes you to another galaxy.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Well, I mean, which is what music is supposed to do. Like y'all took me to the future while taking me back, but keeping me in the present. Like I'm big on multiverses and stuff like that. So when y'all sent me to when I first got the song, and when Rick was like, "Yo, I'm gonna sing you this song," they said, "Hopefully you like it," was his thing. Yeah, I heard it, and I was like blown away by it. But it kind of thrust me into the future and then brought me back here all in the same moment. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah, I know what you mean. That's like super paradox
Right.
weird.
Right. But sonically, sound has a way of altering states.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What were you doing? Like, I mean, you flew out to LA back in like August or something like that. I think like August.
Yeah.
To do this collab and make the videos and do the performance. What were you in the middle of? I saw that you made like a video too. You just did like a live performance too in a controlled environment, right? With a band.
Oh, you're talking about yeah. There's this band called Galactic Empire.
Of course.
And, they had their album release party, and they was like, "Yo, you think you want to come do a couple of songs with us?" And I was like, "Yo, all right, cool." So they wanted to do "Walk This Way" and "Tricky," and what was cool about it, I had this other song that I was already working on called "Metal Man."
Yeah, yeah.
The metal. This is what you hear when the metal man's coming. This is what you heard. And they was Galactic Empire, but in one of the verses, I say, Daryl Mack in attack mode a cappella, intergalactic, interstellar, transporting rhymes through the timeless portal, hip hop god, king of rock, immortal. But I said, you know what? Your Galactic Empire, I could switch it up intergalactic. I could instead of saying intergalactic, interstellar, I could say Galactic Empire, interstellar. And y'all can do my song with me. And it was like, yo, that's so that little improvisation of just having something to do on stage, they're actually going to be the band in the video backing me for that song.
Dude,
and,
oh my God.
That's how cool stuff fall together. Like even when I heard your track, when I heard Calm Before the Storm, I was like, yo, this thing is banging. You know what I'm saying? Like it was banging. But yeah, I was doing that, and I also was in LA meeting with a writer who was telling me that the writer's strike was about to happen and all of that stuff. But we're working on
Damn.
this cartoon. We're working on this animated. We're working on this animated project where we want to use a lot of hip hop and rock music in it.
Oh
You know what I'm
wow.
saying? It's a way to get new music heard and experienced. Just
Oh,
put it in on a content. You know what I'm saying?
that's amazing. That's a new kind of
Yeah.
visual delivery.
Exactly, exactly. But it's gonna be new. It's we're gonna have we're gonna have new music that sounds familiar like the 80s and 90s. But we want everything to be new because it's like y'all guys, there's so many good new musicians now. You know what I'm saying? And they need to be
Yeah.
seen and heard and stuff, and vice versa. I always tell young people, I'm kind of in the same, like the new rappers and the new bands coming up. They're like, yo, DMC, you've been in the music for what, 40? It's hip hop's 50th anniversary. I've been around for 40 of the years of hip hop and stuff like that. But I gotta utilize opportunity and technology to still have a presence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just by me saying, okay, let me get on this record with y'all, led y'all to saying, yo, it turned out nice. Let's do a video. And the visual is always fun.
Oh,
And
the
then
visuals. That's the fun part. That's where you
that's
get to
the
get all Scorsese and stuff
yeah,
on it.
it's like I said, remember when we shooting the video, I said to you, you should do acting.
I know. I was like,
You're very
nah,
good.
man, no
No, you're
way.
you're, you're very you're very good. You went into this acting mode that was different from your performance mode, which was so good for all the acting parts and like how you like acting has a lot to do with the way you move and stuff like that. But then when it was time for you to do your song, you went back to the hard rock and D. So I like that. I'm a little stiff when it comes to acting. You know what I'm saying? But you're
Really?
very fluent. Yeah, I guess you got a lot of practice going from record to record.
I guess so. I mean, I'm
Right?
just freaking nuts, dude. I was born in LA, so I think we're all kind of actors out here, you know.
Right, exactly, right, exactly. All the various emotions and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you, what are some of your favorite bands?
Dude, okay. So
Okay,
I grew up listening. I grew up listening to like Cream with Eric Clapton
wow,
and like Jimi Hendrix, like those two guys.
wow,
Because I'm a guitar player first, actually, and then I became a singer. And
oh wow,
so yeah, I'd love to. And I actually started singing by just hearing their solos. Like Eric used to just weave beautiful solos like in White Room. I would just like mimic it with my voice, and then that's how it became.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So I just like loved trios. I've always loved like Stevie Ray Vaughan, like all these rock and roll trios, blues and
Oh
stuff.
wow, that's wow, Cream.
It,
That's a good one, man.
I know Cream was the cream of the crop. You know, they were like at a certain point, they
Really?
were just nothing but beautiful, like weird, like psychedelic, but
Yeah,
very
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
fun.
Oh, for sure. Oh wow,
And
I
then
could see that.
I got into the good stuff like Aerosmith and like Guns N' Roses
Oh
and
yeah, Guns. Yeah.
all the harder stuff, you know. But then as I grew a little older, I got kind of weird and I like, you know, like David Bowie, a little bit more like Tom Waits and like people that
Oh,
can
really?
really.
I gotta. Well, you just gave me some homework. I gotta check out. I've been into Bowie lately.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been digging Bowie lately from all his earliest stuff. When he did Fame, and it
Yeah.
just got the Ziggy Stardust thing. I've been going deeper into Bowie lately. But my homework is I'm gonna check out Tom Waits.
Yeah, Tom is weird, man. Like he's I love artists and Bowie's one of them where they just kind of keep changing and growing. And Tom is one of those
Really?
guys. Like he in the 70s he was just a parlor piano player singing his heart out about, you know, his love that left him in
Uh huh.
Jersey.
Uh
But
huh.
then like as he grew older he started using pots and pans and like scraping gravel to make a beat and then record
Wow.
distorting a bass to a stand-up bass to sound like really different and
That's really.
it's so cool, man. And he just creates atmosphere and then his lyrics are like really to the to the heart, the needle in the heart kind of
So
thing.
he was taking rocks and stuff and making sounds and distorting.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you say that. I just recently, because me and Tom Morello are the newest members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame judging committee.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
so I mean, it's it's one of the beautiful things. It's so hard though.
Uh-huh.
It's so hard, but one of the beautiful things about it, the reason why I like it, I'm learning a lot. I'm
Hmm.
getting exposed. So I got introduced to this guitar player. You might have heard of him, Link Ray.
Link Ray. I've heard of Link Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was he was one of a lot of his stuff is just instrumentals. Like he was famous for selling instrumentals, but he's into that distortion. But then he started getting into the Indians, the native Indians here with the
Yeah, yeah.
sound, yeah, and it's so diverse, but sonically he's a distorted Native American Indian 50. It's like having Elvis and Led Zeppelin and John Denver all at once.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's real crazy. But he got a lot of songs that deal with social issues and stuff like that. But he's a guitar player. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
I guess I'm gravitating to all this rock music because when I was a kid, I used to just love the sound of the rock guitar coming through
Yeah.
the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best place for it to come out of.
Yeah,
The
remember?
radio.
Because oh yeah, it was the radio, and it was like, yo, what's this? What's that? And ever since I was little, I just wanted to be a rock star, and hip hop allowed me to do that.
That's what a weird sentence, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Right? I wanted
Hip
to be a
hop.
rock star. Hip hop allowed me to be a rock star.
No one will believe
That's
that.
crazy, right?
Dude, and you are the king of rock, man. I'm for real. There's an attitude. There's like, they say, and they like when hip hop came around, it was like the new it was a whole new freaking attitude rock and roll
Yeah,
kind of like. I mean, you guys were the new rock stars, and you
yeah.
are. It's like you're taking over.
Tim Armstrong from Rancid. He said punk rock had one middle finger up to the world and the establishment. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, when are we going to do our music? We're going to eat the way we're going to look. We're going to be free. We're going to be creative. He said that punk rock had one middle finger. Then when hip hop came along, it made them knew they was on to something, so they put two middle fingers up to the world. But you know, it's kind of like it's basically all the same stuff. Like nobody thought Run-DMC and the Beasties could tour when we did the tour with the Beastie Boys in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? But we toured. We called the tour Together Forever. We toured the United States, and then we went overseas, and it was just amazing.
Oh, that's incredible, man. So incredible. Man, we were chatting earlier today, and you said how like just like rock and roll and guitars and big heavy rock bands sounded like
Yeah,
superheroes to you.
superheroes. Yeah, it's
That's
dynamic.
insane. I never thought of that before, but it's so true. It's like they just
It's
sound larger than life.
yes,
Like
exactly. Yep,
that's
it's like
crazy.
the Hulk and Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield. Like it's very powerful.
Yeah, and they even sound like I'm pretty sure in old cartoons they would use an electric guitar to make the
Oh,
noise.
for
Like
sure. Right. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
then and then you use the flutes and the strings for the lighter moments.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Right. Sort of
for the
like what
romantic scenes.
exactly, exactly. But I
I
mean,
was gonna
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like what you were part of the Hall of Fame committee, man. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now that I'm there, now there's a lot of people that should be in right now.
Hmm.
They should be in. Like
Hmm.
even when they put me in, I was like, don't put me in yet, because you know what I'm saying?
Really?
It's sad because there's so many people that I grew up listening to that I know should be in there that
Damn.
allowed me to have the attitude to participate.
Yeah.
But I think what people should take even I said, what's greater than actually being in the Hall of Fame, especially for us hip hop guys, is just being considered worthy enough for induction is an accomplishment. Just
Oh,
you know, to have the consideration, but there's so many people that should be in. I mean, it's so confusing too, because remember, Dolly Parton didn't want to go in. And then they
right,
had to
right.
explain to her, no, you country, but you're a rock star, like what you do. And she was like, okay. And she's so funny, she's putting out a rock album.
Oh, I know. I can't wait for that,
You
dude.
know what I'm saying?
And that's
But
got everybody on it. That's got like Steven Tyler. It's
yeah,
got
yeah,
Nikki Sixx. I mean, you
yeah.
name it.
It's crazy. Yep, it's crazy. I guess she just realized it's just all music.
Yeah.
But I think me and Tom Morello are there now because we're the younger. Because as you move forward, you got to bring in new people to help judge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Absolutely. And you said it's like super hard, huh? Like
It's
what's
so super hard
how so? Like
because
what's going on?
you get X amount of people,
Yeah.
right? And out of that X amount of people, you got to pick 12,
Mm.
and
Um,
it's based on, did you change something? It's based on your skill. It's not so much based on how well you sold. It's, did you change? Did you inspire? Did you change? Were you an influence? And did you just totally, like, they explained it to me like this. When I got in and I was like kind of having reservations, they said, Daryl, if you play the flute and you sell out Madison Square Garden 3, and I went, oh, so if you play a flute in a band, they said, no, 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 no. Listen to what I'm saying. If you play the flute alone and you sell out Madison Square Garden 3 nights in a row, that's some rock and roll shit.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't
Yeah.
even sing, you just play the flute and you sell this shit out and they come to see you. And I was like, okay, I understand where you're going at.
Yeah, that's pretty, but that's like that's
Right?
a pretty hard thing to
Yeah,
find,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying? I was like, you playing the, no, not as a part of a band. If you just play the fucking flute. So
Yeah.
it's all about doing rock and roll shit.
It was really prestigious, like really.
You
Damn.
know, but before the world ends, everybody has to be in, you know.
Hmm.
Because one of my favorite groups is Backman Turner Overdrive. And I'm
Yeah. Hell
taking care of business
yeah.
every day. I've been taking care, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's
Yeah.
not in there. You know what I'm saying? Think about you guitar player. Think about all the marvelous, wonderful solos from certain artists who ain't in there yet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
God. Yeah.
saying?
Jeez, absolutely. Very emotive
So you know,
and
maybe they shortchanged themselves calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They should have just called it the Rock and Roll Universe.
yeah. Yeah, totally, dude.
Right, the Universal Rock and Roll Museum, and then everybody can get in.
Oh, dude, just the act of being creative in a loud way is an act of radical courage, man.
Oh, for sure.
It's just I mean that should be enough, but
I
damn.
know it's look, it's better than religion and politics,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a movement for sure.
Right, exactly. A movement that gets bigger and better every time.
Yeah, man.
So
Damn,
I'm
dude.
going to check out some Tom Waits. You just gave me some homework.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check out this song called Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah, and I think that's a good one because it's a little bit later. It's like maybe 90s or something.
Okay.
But and it just when you put it on, it just sounds like you're in Singapore, which is crazy, you know.
What?
But that's kind of like the vibe. And then he goes off into doing other like, and then don't ask me about artists because I'll just tell you like, let's check out this one, this one, this one.
Right, right,
But
right.
also, if you can listen to
Uh-huh.
Underground,
Underground.
it's all trombone and it's like like bones are clanking and it's like really weird.
Oh, the underground is all trombone.
Yeah, it's like a
Really?
trombone is the main instrument with a little bit of like, it sounds like things are just clinking together and it's just very weird. And then he sings like he's underground.
Where is it from? Is it
Um,
American or
yeah,
European?
yeah,
Oh, it's American. Okay.
he's like Americana almost. So he's like he's probably like from like Jersey or something, I think. I don't even know, but he gets weird.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's just inspiring and he makes
I
you
mean,
want to
right,
sing.
right, exactly, right. I'm probably gonna get hugely inspired,
Yeah, man.
right? Because I mean, everything is collaboration anyway.
Yeah.
All of I remember we opened for Lou Reed here in New York City. It was like 1985, right before we put out the first album. And we opened up for Lou Reed. We had 20 minutes, whatever, whatever. And we went out there and we're doing our show. And about 20% of the crowd had the middle fingers up, because
Yeah.
it was against this new hip hop stuff. And it was like they don't even play instruments. They
Right.
they ain't even saying whatever, whatever. So we did our show. And then when Lou Reed took the stage, the stage manager came, yo, Run, yo, DJ, come in, you gotta hear this. So before Lou Reed played, he said, before I do my show, the way he talked, he was so cool. He's like,
Yeah.
before I do my show, I just want to address those people that was booing Run-DMC. He said, if you booing them, you booing me, because I was just like them in the beginning. He said, I was taking from all types of music. I was using all of these crazy sounds, trying to figure out how I was going to do my thing. And it was almost like it was the father scolding the children. And you should
Yeah.
have seen his face was like, we're sorry, Papa Lou. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And I see, because look, the only reason we was taking everybody else's music because we couldn't play instruments.
Yeah.
Well, we thought we
Fair.
need music. Oh, we would look at records and say, nobody's singing right there. Let's use that part. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, man.
But it's
Dude,
just like it's just taking, yo, I like that sound of that guitar, or I like the way that drum sounds, or I like that bass line right there. We just took it and put it all together.
oh, that's how you make music too. Playing instruments or not, man. You
Right,
just
you're inspired by something.
yeah.
So you
Dude.
said your vocals came from listening to guitar solos.
Yeah.
I could relate to that because Rakim,
Mhm.
one of the greatest rappers ever, he said he made all his flows from jazz music.
Oh, damn.
The way jazz musicians play, it's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. Came in the door. Said when you said that, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I can understand that now. Your vocal presence came from listening to the way solos go. That's powerful, man.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
Rakim
rock
said he
him.
got his flows from jazz music. I was
I
like,
could hear that
wow.
now.
Now you're gonna listen to him in a different way now. When you go listen to, you're like, whoa,
Yeah, now I got homework.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Dan was asking, how did the collab come about? And I always tell people, like we just had a connection through, a small connection through management.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, what's your story on how this collab happened?
Well, Rick was always bringing your guys up.
Right.
Like every time I see him, he was excited about you. It's like, yo, I'm working with this new band. I'm working with this new band. They're really good. I'm working with this new band. They're really good. They're really good. This and that. Then he started saying, I'm working with this new band and they're going to be opening on the Motley Def Leppard tour. Just and that, boom, bang. And he was always saying, yo, it'd be so cool if y'all could do something together. So let's do something together.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he calls and says, yo, we got this idea. We wondered if you would get on the song, whatever, whatever. And I was like, yo, what's the name of the band? Classless Act. Here, check them out and stuff like that. And then I heard it and I was like, oh, okay. Do I really want to do this? Okay, send me the song. And then when I heard the song, I was like, yo, this is banging. And it's really, really good. Like it's real music and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I said, I gotta come with something that's familiar, but also something nobody ever heard before.
Yeah.
So like I said, when I was speaking with you and Rick a couple of weeks ago when we was in where was we at? We was in St. Louis.
Yeah, we're in St. Louis
Yeah, when
together.
we was in St. Louis together and stuff like that. So it was kind of like the record took me, the record set up the vibe that I needed to bring to the record itself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to say, let me do what I would do. Let me do what I did with Aerosmith. Let me do what I did with Rockbox. Let me do what King of Rock. Because when I approached those records at those times, I didn't have any preconceived, ideas.
Right.
So I just let the song soak me up in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's funny, Calm Before the Storm, I just knew I'm gonna go in the studio and I'm gonna stay calm.
Yeah, yeah. Dude.
But yeah, I think what Rick what helped Rick was he knew my work. He knew all my work, but he seen me, when I perform with the Royal Machines.
Yeah.
So he's seeing me in this day and time, and he's like, this could work with Classic Act.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like when we performed at SoFi, it felt like we've been doing this forever.
Oh, dude.
And that was the first time we performed live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man. I mean that was crazy.
Then
and I remember
SoFi?
SoFi was nuts. Dude. Yeah, what's SoFi? I couldn't stop telling people like D just showed up and like I think he might have just flew in that day. No, he was there the day before, but
right.
I mean, freaking just switched on, man. He just switched on. I was like, damn, dude, like, how did you do that?
Look, I always tell people you can't lose when you have a great band. I always said you can't lose when you have a great band. But it's collaboration leads to evolution. Hopefully this song that we did encourages the next generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And have fun with it too.
Yeah, right? Totally. I mean, and your verse drove it home, man. Like we really wanted to the song itself is just like, be larger than life is what it's trying to say. And be explosive and if you're gonna say something, yell it, scream it. And so when you came up with that verse, it's like
I came with napalm in Vietnam, boom. Superman. I came with Superman, and then I had to come with I'm a king just like LeBron.
Dude, you're talking about 3 different freaking decades of
largeness, right? How crazy is that?
That's exactly it. I think this song will actually totally it'll at least speak to people to come out of their, just to be as big as they can.
That's exactly. No matter what it is you do.
Yeah,
that's the importance of it, for sure.
Dude, I mean that's it. I don't know. I mean, I think that's pretty much. That's it. Man. That's it.
Where's Daniel at?
Daniel Cohn. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Oh, he says he's here. He's in the chat. What's up, D? You gotta. Oh, wait. Actually, Daryl, maybe just to close it out, I'm curious. Because you love rock and roll, you love superheroes. Who's your favorite superhero?
All right. My whole career, since day one, I was always shouting out, it's Gerald McDaniels from Queens, DMC from Hollis, Queens, Kings from Queens come Kings. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. I come from Queens, I'm the king, this and that. I wasn't shouting out Queens to represent my hood. Derek, when I was a little kid, reading Marvel comic books, this geeky little nerdy kid that wore glasses who went to Catholic school that liked comic books and rock and roll. I wasn't into afros in the Jackson 5. I liked the rock guitars on the radio. When I found out that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, lives in Queens, it was over for me. So Spider-Man is my favorite superhero because he comes from Queens. You know what I'm saying? He takes the same trains that I take. He went to the same supermarkets that I went to. he probably listened to the same radio stations that I've listened to all my life. So it's got to be Peter Parker for Spider-Man.
Peter Parker, dude. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's wonderful, man.
yep, Peter Parker.
That's incredible. Hell yeah. Well, there you have it. Dude, that's amazing. Yeah. Queens. Hey, yo, Daniel, man, I don't know what you think, dude, but I